Can you pretend you're not with me tonight? She asked while fixing her makeup. I said, okay, and drove her to the party. Dropped her off. Went home, packed my things, and moved out. She called at midnight asking for a ride. I said, still pretending, and hung up. Hey viewers, before we move on to the video, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button if you want to see more stories like this. Thanks. I know how the title sounds. It sounds petty. It sounds like a knee-jerk reaction to a single bad night. But anyone who has been in a relationship with a climber knows that the end is never about one sentence. It's about the 1,000 sentences before it that you ignored because you wanted to believe they loved you. The sentence she said in the car was just the receipt. I'd already bought the product. Let me set the stage. I'm 29. I work in back-end logistics for a major shipping firm. It's profitable, stable, and to my ex-girlfriend Jenna, 26F, incredibly boring. Jenna describes herself as a lifestyle curator, which is Instagram code for unemployed with expensive taste. For 2 years, I paid the rent on our downtown apartment. I paid the lease on the Audi she loved to take selfies in. I paid for the dinners she posted, the vacations she tagged, and the clothes she wore. In exchange, I was allowed to exist in the background of her life, a useful prop that kept the lights on while she waited for her real life to start. The night it ended, we were heading to a launch party for a new boutique agency in the city. This was the big leagues for her. A-list influencers, local celebrities, and, crucially, a few venture capital guys she was desperate to impress. She had spent 3 hours getting ready. She looked incredible, red dress, perfect hair, the kind of look that stops traffic. But the vibe in the car was off. Usually, I'd be driving with one hand, holding hers with the other. Tonight, she was pressed against the passenger door, aggressively scrolling through her phone, checking the guest list. She kept sighing, looking at me, then looking back at her phone. You're wearing that? She asked, not looking up. I looked down at my suit. It was a charcoal custom fit. It's a suit, Jenna. It's fine. It's just very corporate, she muttered, finally locking her phone and pulling down the visor mirror to check her lipstick for the 10th time. Marco isn't going to be wearing a suit. He's going to be in, like, designer streetwear. You look like you're here to do their taxes. Marco was the host, the target, the guy with the trust fund and the connections she wanted. I didn't say anything. I just kept driving. We were 5 minutes away. She snapped the visor shut and turned to me. The air in the car changed. It wasn't the comfortable silence of a couple. It was the tense silence of a manager about to reprimand an employee. Listen, she started, her voice dropping into that fake sweet tone she used when she wanted something expensive. This night is really huge for my brand. Like, career defining. I need to network. Seriously network. Okay. I said. So network. I'm just there to support you. She bit her lip. Right? But the optics are tricky. If I walk in with a boyfriend, especially one who looks so safe, it kills the vibe. Men like Marco, they invest in availability. They want to feel like they're discovering the next it girl. If I'm attached, I'm invisible. I felt a cold click in my chest. It was the sound of the last thread snapping. So, what are you asking, Jenna? She took a breath, smoothing her dress. Can you pretend you're not with me tonight? Like, just for the party. Park around the corner. Walk in 10 minutes after me. If anyone asks, we're just roommates or friends. Don't stand near me, don't hold my hand, and definitely don't kiss me. Just let me be the main character for a few hours. Please. She looked at me with those wide, expectant eyes, waiting for me to fold. Waiting for me to be the good guy who supports her dreams, even when those dreams involved erasing me. In the past, I would have argued. I would have felt hurt. I would have asked why I wasn't good enough. But tonight, nothing. No anger. No sadness. Just clarity. I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized I wasn't looking at my partner. I was looking at a liability. I smiled. A genuine, calm smile. Okay, I said. She blinked, surprised it was that easy. Really? You don't mind? Not at all, I said. I want you to get exactly what you're looking for tonight. She squealed and clapped her hands. Oh my God, thank you. You're the best. She had no idea. I pulled up to the venue, a converted warehouse district that smelled like money and pretension. There was a valet, but per her instructions, I drove past the entrance and idled near the corner. Okay, give me 10 minutes, she said, unclipping her seatbelt. She checked her reflection one last time. She didn't say I love you. She didn't even say see you inside. Don't come in until 9:15, she commanded. Then she opened the door, stepped out into the city lights, and walked toward the entrance without looking back. She immediately put on her camera face, waving to someone in line, transforming instantly into the person she wanted to be. I watched her disappear through the velvet ropes. Then, I put the Audi in drive, made a U-turn, and drove home. The drive back was the quietest 20 minutes of my life. I turned off the radio. I needed to think tactically. I knew the layout of our apartment. I knew what was mine, what was hers, and what was technically ours, but not worth the fight. People ask why I moved out if I was the one paying the rent. It's simple. Evictions take months. Leaving takes an hour. I didn't want a confrontation. I didn't want to listen to her beg or scream or gaslight me into staying for one more month while she figured things out. I wanted to be gone. I wanted to be a ghost. The money I'd lose on the security deposit was the price of my freedom. I parked in the garage and took the elevator up. 9:25 p.m. She was probably just getting her first drink, scanning the room for Marco, thinking I was circling the block looking for parking. I walked into the apartment. It smelled like her perfume and the expensive candles I paid for. I went straight to the bedroom and pulled my 2 large suitcases and my gym duffel from the closet. The rules of extraction: essentials only, clothes, shoes, toiletries. High value: my watches, my laptop, my external hard drives, all my personal documents were digitized, and my passport. Irreplaceables: the photo of my grandfather, my signed first editions, and my PlayStation 5, non-negotiable. I moved with the efficiency of a crime scene cleaner. I cleared my side of the closet in 10 minutes. Suits, shirts, jeans, folded and packed. I cleared my nightstand. I went to the bathroom and swept my toiletries into a bag. I left the furniture. I left the TV. I left the kitchenware. That was all stuff. Stuff can be bought. Dignity cannot. 9:55 p.m. The bags were packed and lined up by the door. I sat down at the kitchen island and opened my banking app. We had a joint account for household expenses, mostly her using it for Sephora runs and groceries that were actually wine. I transferred exactly 50% of the balance back to my personal savings. I left her share. I wasn't stealing, I was settling up. Then, I removed my credit card from her Uber account, her Amazon account, and the food delivery apps she had logged into my phone. 10:15 p.m. I carried the bags down to the car. I did one final sweep. The apartment looked weirdly normal, just slightly emptier. My side of the vanity was bare. My side of the bed was made. I didn't leave a note. A note implies there is something left to discuss. A note implies I wanted her to know why. I didn't need her to understand. The beauty of her request, "Pretend you're not with me," was that it gave me permission to make it reality. I placed my house key on the kitchen counter, right next to the empty bottle of wine she drank while getting ready. I walked out, closed the door, and heard the lock click. I got in the car, blocked her number, and drove to the St. Regis downtown. I checked into a suite, ordered a bourbon, and sat by the window looking out at the city. I checked the time. 10:45 p.m. She probably hadn't even noticed I wasn't there yet. She was too busy pretending. But the night was young, and karma was just waking up. I was on my second glass of Blanton's when my phone lit up. It was 12:42 a.m. I was sitting in a plush armchair in the hotel suite, overlooking the city skyline. The silence in the room was luxurious. No reality TV blaring in the background, no complaints about my boring job, no passive-aggressive sighs. Just peace. My phone had been buzzing intermittently since 10 p.m., texts asking where I was, why I wasn't answering, and finally, where the car was parked. I hadn't looked at any of them. I simply watched the screen glow and fade, like a lighthouse warning of a shipwreck I was no longer on. But at 12:42 a.m., the phone rang. It wasn't a text anymore. It was a call. I let it ring 3 times. I took a slow sip of bourbon. Then, I swiped green and put it on speaker. "Where the fuck are you?" Jenna's voice was a mixture of slur and shriek. I could hear wind blowing into the microphone. She was outside. "Hello, Jenna," I said. Calm. Professional. Like I was taking a customer service call. "Don't hello Jenna me," she screamed. "I've been standing outside for 20 minutes. The valet said the car isn't here. Did you move it? I told you to wait around the corner." "I didn't move it," I said. "I left." Silence on the line. Just the sound of wind and distant traffic. You left?" Her voice dropped an octave. shifting from anger to confusion. What do you mean you left? You went to get gas. No. I went home. You went home. The panic was setting in now. Why would you go home? You have the car. How am I supposed to get back? My heels are killing me, and it's freezing. Take an Uber, I suggested. I can't, she snapped. My phone is on 4%, and the surge pricing is like $80. Just come pick me up. Hurry up. I'm cold. There was no please. No apology. Just a demand for services rendered. So, I asked, swirling the ice in my glass. How was the networking? Did you close the deal with Marco? I heard her sniffle. Don't be a jerk. Marco is whatever. He's fake. He left with some 19-year-old TikTok girl an hour ago. The whole party was lame. I just want to go home. Come get me. There it was. Plan A had failed. The upgrade hadn't worked out. The rich guy saw through the facade, or found a newer, shinier toy. Now that the fantasy was over, she needed the safety net back. She needed the NPC to drive her home so she could complain about how unfair the world was to her. I can't pick you up, Jenna, I said. Why not? Are you drunk? No, I said, leaning back in the chair. I'm just following your instructions. What instructions? What are you talking about? In the car, I said. You asked me to pretend I wasn't with you tonight. You said it was important for your brand. You wanted to be single. You wanted to be independent. Oh my God, she groaned, the frustration peaking. I meant for the party, you idiot. The party is over. You can stop pretending now. I looked at the city lights below, millions of people living their lives, and felt a profound sense of finality. That's the thing, Jenna, I said softly. I'm not pretending anymore. I'm actually not with you. Stop joking, she warned, though her voice wavered. It's not funny. Come get me. I'm not joking. You wanted to be single. You succeeded. Congratulations. Dave, she cried, desperation finally cracking the anger. Please. I'm cold. Just come get me. I'm still pretending, I said. And I hung up. I slept like a baby. The kind of deep, restorative sleep you only get when a massive weight has been lifted off your chest. I woke up at 8 a.m. to a notification center that looked like a war zone. 47 missed calls from Jenna. 12 missed calls from Sarah, Jenna's best friend. 83 text messages. I ordered room service, eggs Benedict and coffee, and scrolled through the timeline of destruction while I ate. It was a fascinating case study in the 5 stages of grief. 1 a.m., denial, pick up the phone. Stop playing games. I'm in an Uber and it cost me $92. You are paying for this. 1:45 a.m., anger, where are your things? Why is the closet empty? Where is your PlayStation? Did we get robbed? 2:15 a.m., bargaining, Dave, please call me. I'm scared. Why is your key on the counter? Did I do something wrong? We can talk about this. 3:30 a.m., depression, I can't stop crying. How could you do this to me? I love you. Please come home. 6 a.m., acceptance/rage, you are a narcissist psycho. Sarah says what you did is emotional abuse. Abandoning me downtown? I hope you die. I took a sip of coffee and opened the text from Sarah. Sarah was the ringleader of Jenna's friend group, single, bitter, and convinced that all men were trash. Sarah, you are a piece of SHD. Stranding a woman in the middle of the city at night? That is literal violence. She is distraught. You better fix this or I'm blasting you on social media. Asterisk, I didn't argue. I didn't defend myself. I simply took a screenshot of the text Jenna had sent me 3 weeks ago. Can you transfer the rent money early? I bought that bag for the event, so I'm a little short. Then I replied to Sarah. She asked me to pretend we weren't together. I respected her wishes. Also, since you're so concerned, the rent is due on the 1st. It's in her name. Make sure she has it. Blocked. Then came the logistics. Around 10 a.m., my phone buzzed with an email from the apartment complex. An automated notification that a rent payment was pending. I logged into the portal and removed my bank account as a payment method. Then, I logged into the shared utility accounts. Power, internet, cable, all in my name. I didn't turn them off. That would be illegal in some states, but I scheduled a transfer of service or cancellation for 48 hours later. She had 2 days to put them in her name or learn how to live by candlelight. At noon, I finally saw the social media fallout. Jenna had posted a long, text-heavy Instagram story. White text on a black background. I usually don't post personal stuff, but last night was the scariest night of my life. Abandoned downtown by the person I trusted most. Blindsided. Heartbroken. It's crazy how you think you know someone. #Survivor. It was a good spin. She was playing the victim perfectly. The comments were flooding in with support. Men are trash. You deserve better, queen. Stay strong. I felt a flash of irritation, but then I scrolled to the next story in my feed. It was from the agency that threw the party. A recap reel. And there, in the background of a clip showing the DJ, was Jenna. She was leaning in close to Marco, laughing fake hard, touching his arm. Marco looked bored. He was looking over her head, scanning the room. In the next clip, Marco was leaving with a stunning brunette who was definitely not Jenna. I didn't need to counter her narrative. The truth was, nobody cared about her breakup drama as much as she thought they did. 2 days later, the real fallout hit. I received an email from Jenna. She was blocked on text, so she had to go formal. Subject, please read. Dave, I don't know where you are. I'm sorry about the party. I was stressed. I didn't mean it. But you have to pay the rent. The leasing office says it's overdue. I don't have it. You know I don't have it. If we don't pay, they're going to evict me. Please, just pay this month and we can figure it out. I read it twice. This was the woman who told me I was boring, who told me I played it safe, who thought she was destined for a life of luxury and high-status men. And here she was, realizing that her entire lifestyle was subsidized by the very man she was ashamed to be seen with. I hit reply. Hi Jenna, I'm afraid I can't help. I'm currently saving my money for someone who is proud to be seen with me. You wanted to be independent. Independence starts with paying your own bills. Good luck with the brand. Sent. 3 months passed. My life had undergone a quiet, masterful renovation. I found a new apartment, a loft in the industrial district with exposed brick and zero white-on-white minimalist decor. I bought the leather couch I wanted. I started hitting the gym at 6 a.m. because I no longer stayed up late listening to someone vent about how hard it is to be an influencer with under 10K followers. I was happier, calmer. My bank account was recovering rapidly now that it wasn't hemorrhaging money into Sephora and brunch spots. I knew Jenna was struggling. Mutual friends, the few who took my side, told me she had been evicted a month after I left. She was currently couch surfing at Sarah's place, and apparently, Sarah's "men are trash" philosophy was straining under the weight of Jenna's inability to pay for utilities. I expected her to fade away. But narcissists don't fade, they reload. It happened on a Tuesday. I was walking out of my office building for lunch when I saw her. She was standing near the planter boxes, holding a large manila envelope. She looked different. The gloss was gone. Her hair was pulled back in a messy bun that looked less chic. And more, I haven't washed this in 3 days. She was wearing old yoga pants, not the designer fits she used to parade around in. She spotted me and put on a brave, shaky smile. Hey Dave. I stopped, keeping a safe distance. Jenna, what are you doing here? Some of your mail came to Sarah's old place. The forwarding address must have missed it. It looked like tax stuff. I didn't want you to get in trouble. She held out the envelope. It was a piece of junk mail from a credit card company. She knew it. I knew it. It was the mail excuse, the oldest trick in the book to force face-to-face contact. You could have just marked it "Return to sender," I said, not taking the envelope. She lowered her hand, her eyes instantly filling with tears. It was a performance I had seen 100 times. I missed you, she whispered. I just wanted to see you. I checked my watch. I'm on a lunch break, Jenna. Can we just talk? 5 minutes. She stepped closer, invading my space. I messed up, okay? I know I messed up. But you have to understand the pressure I was under. I didn't want to hide you because I was embarrassed. I did it because I was trying to build a future for us. I wanted to make it big so we could have the life we talked about. It was an impressive rewrite of history. You didn't do it for us, I said, my voice flat. You did it because you thought you could do better. You thought I was a stepping stone, and you were ready to jump to the next rock. But you slipped. That's not true, she insisted, wiping a tear. I love you. I've been miserable without you. Sarah is a nightmare to live with. I just want to come home. I want us back. I don't care about the parties or the influencers anymore. I just want you. She reached for my hand. Her grip was desperate. I looked at her hand, then up at her face. I didn't feel anger. I didn't feel vindication. I just felt exhaustion. She wasn't missing me. She was missing the rent payments. She was missing the Audi. She was missing the safety. I pulled my hand away gently. You don't miss me, Jenna, I said. You miss the logistics of me. What? You miss the bills getting paid. You miss the ride home. You miss having a fan in the audience. But the seat is empty now, and I'm not buying another ticket. Dave, please. Keep the mail, I said, stepping around her. I have to get back to work. I walked away. She called my name twice, but I didn't turn around. I didn't pretend I didn't hear her. I just didn't care. 2 months later, I was attending the company holiday party. It was held at an upscale rooftop lounge. Ironically, the kind of place Jenna would have killed to get into, but never could afford. I wasn't alone. Her name was Claire. She was an architect I'd met at the gym. She was smart, funny, and terrifyingly competent. She drove her own car. She paid for her own drinks. And unlike Jenna, she didn't view me as a background character. We were standing near the bar, laughing at a bad joke my boss had made. Claire had her hand resting comfortably on my lower back. She leaned in to whisper something in my ear, her smile radiant. That's when I saw them, working the event. It wasn't uncommon for aspiring influencers to pick up catering or promo gigs when the rent was due. Jenna and Sarah were standing near the entrance, holding trays of champagne flutes. They were wearing generic black staff uniforms, ill-fitting black slacks, and white button-downs. Jenna looked tired. Her feet were shifting uncomfortably in cheap flats. She was offering drinks to people who walked past her without making eye contact. She was finally invisible. Then, she looked up and saw me. She froze. The tray in her hand wobbled. She took in the scene. Me, in a tailored suit, the one she called corporate. My boss patting me on the back. And Claire, beautiful, professional Claire, laughing and brushing a piece of linen off my lapel with an easy, affectionate familiarity. Jenna's eyes locked onto mine. Her mouth opened slightly. I could see the gears turning, the shock, the jealousy, the realization that I hadn't just moved out. I had moved up. She took a step forward, as if she was going to approach me, as if she was going to try to leverage our past to get a foothold in this room. Dave, she mouthed. Claire noticed me looking. She followed my gaze to the catering staff. Do you know her? Claire asked, whispering in my ear. I looked at Jenna. I looked at the tray in her hand. I looked at the desperation in her eyes, begging for acknowledgement, begging for me to validate her existence in this room. I thought about the car ride. I thought about the request. Pretend you're not with me. I turned back to Claire and smiled, pulling her slightly closer. No, I said, loud enough for Jenna to read my lips. I don't think so. Just someone I used to know. I turned my back on her. I felt Claire squeeze my hand. We walked toward the balcony to watch the city lights. I didn't look back to see if Jenna was watching. I knew she was. But for the first time in years, I wasn't pretending anything. I was exactly where I was supposed to be. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. What do you think about this story? Share it in the comments.